Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast. My name is Kris. I am joined by my brother Eric.
Hello.
We are back in the room for a bonus discussion, and at time of recording, we've literally just finished the Xbox showcase for 2024, and we're going to share our thoughts on the show, and we'll waste no time. Eric, what did you think of the Xbox showcase?
Okay, so just speaking on an overall, there was definitely a lot less talking, which I suppose was nice. You know, just get into it and shows the games. Unless you love talking, then you might hate it because you're like, there's no. I think people spoke about 3 times throughout the showcase
Yeah.
until we got the Black Ops 6 at the end.
Yeah.
Then people talked a lot. Is that going to be a thing now for Xbox? Because I think in the last showcase they did that with Starfield, didn't they?
They did. They did.
So this must be like their thing going forward now. Is they're going to have
They'll
one
do a showcase and then they'll do a deeper dive
deep dive.
into whatever their big game that year is or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Overall, I mean, as we were saying with the Summer Game Fest, which was on the Friday, Saturday, was on a
It's on
day.
the Friday. Yeah.
Yes. So as we were saying with that one, that had a lot more indie games. This
Yeah.
one definitely had a lot more uh, double A, triple A style games,
Yeah.
which was nice. It's nice, and if you know, it looks. They look bigger, they look better. I suppose if you have an Xbox, this it's pretty exciting stuff, and I hope they do well. As again we said at the Summer Game Fest, we never hope really for developers, even with movies and TV shows. We never really hope that it's bad because that's
No, of
not
course not.
good.
Yeah.
No, no, no. So with most of these, I hope they're good. We did see a few world premieres, bit of nostalgia coming back from all those times over the countless of showcases where it's world premiere.
Yeah.
World premiere. It's like fucking hell. All right.
Bring it back, baby.
You don't need to say it. That and then of course we had the day one Game Pass, which I have never been a big fan of seeing.
Okay. Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of that. But some exciting games. I think there was a few that looked interesting, and then there was 3 that were just like awesome. Because they're the other 3, which was Snake Eater, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then the game they said at the end. I won't mention that, but we'll definitely talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But like just those are pre-established. Um, what's the word? Franchises, pre-established franchises that I'm well aware of, and that I can kind of go, okay, well, I know what to get from them. So to
Yes.
be excited with them. But then you have the other ones which look pretty interesting. And how did you think of it? You, who is an Xbox owner, how was
I have
this
an
for you?
Xbox. You don't have an Xbox. Yeah. So
No, so it's hard for me to.
it's interested because it's like, is this when you're watching it? Is the showcase that makes you go, fuck yeah, I want a bit of that. Okay, you know what? I want to buy in on this ecosystem. Or then for me, it's like, great, look at all these games. I just keep my subscription, and I'm gonna get to play all of these games. And if I
Hmm.
don't like any of them, it's like, so what? You know, I could just stop playing and I can try out all of them. Um, so for me, like going into it, I'm like, Xbox have been not everyone's favorite this year so far with like bad news and studio closures and things like that. So I think they really needed to come out strong with this showcase.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, listening to you speak, I'm like, did we watch a different showcase or like, because you're like, there's maybe 3 games that you're talking about, and I'm like, I wrote down 11, and I can't pick the 5 that I I want to talk about because I'm like, I think there was multiple times where and I'm looking at this as like what's in Xbox's ecosystem, right? There was multiple games where I was like, they could have ended the showcase with that. They could have ended the showcase with that. They could have ended the showcase with that. Like multiple of these games were like Summer Game Fest. Here's one more game.
Mm.
Um, I think this was one of Xbox's best showcases ever.
Right, but I
I think it
think
was incredible.
I'm talking about the 3. I'm not saying there was no others that interested
Oh
me.
no, no, of
There was a
course.
game called Expedition 33, and I thought that looked really interesting, really cool. That was like bringing back a bit of that turn-based combat, and
Yeah,
I think it had a really cool setting. So yeah, there was a few games there, but it's almost like you watching a Nintendo showcase.
No, I get you. I get you. Like you're like it's still not enough to make you get it, and therefore it's like, oh great, these are all games I'm never gonna play.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of them. Yeah.
Right. And I think there was like, it was almost more exciting to see a game not have Game Pass because it meant that's not an Xbox exclusive. So
Yeah.
that's something for me to keep an eye on.
Yes.
Because everything else then was just like, I'm not 100% sure. Well, I suppose if it had Game Pass,
Yeah.
that meant it was exclusive.
Not always, not always,
Oh,
but
okay.
for the most part, yes. Yeah.
Right.
I thought they absolutely killed it with the showcase. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I think most of the big franchises that people would want to see from Xbox were here.
Hmm.
And there was nothing omitted. I thought the one weird omission maybe was that some of their big games this year, like Avowed and Indiana Jones, did not yet have release dates. I thought
Fair
that was
enough.
kind of
Yeah.
strange because like this would be the time really to like lock that in and do that. However, it does look like they've lined up a pretty good release year this year for Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And then also there was a good few of these games that were saying 2025 as well. So it looks like
Yes.
the next 2 years are like, pretty good for Xbox players who have had like not a lot of Xbox games to play up to this point. So it's like they've finally kind of got to a point where it's like they've caught up now. And now they've got their slate of games ready to actually. I like Phil Spencer had a lot of interviews where he was saying, "I can see the dominoes, and if only people could see what I've seen, like eventually they're all gonna fall, and then people will see why you should stick with us," kind of a thing. And I
Hmm.
feel like this showcase was the first time since the announcement of the Series X where it was like, this is what we're talking about. We do actually have really big games and franchises coming, and it's like now they're finally here. I'm not saying that like as someone who has always grown up in the PlayStation ecosystem, I'm not saying that these games are absolutely on par with your God of Wars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But within the Xbox franchises, most of the big ones are here. You
Yeah.
know, bar Halo.
Bar Halo. Yeah. Yeah.
Bar Halo, pretty much. But now let's get into. We're not going to talk about every single game, but to talk about maybe the ones that stood out the most to us, and then we can also throw out a few honorable mentions as well. Eric, what's the first game you would like to talk about?
You know what? Let's talk about one. I think it's a Game Pass game, so I don't know if it's going to be coming, but it's Bethesda. It's a Bethesda game, and it was Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yeah, right. This is why I think I was puzzled when you named three at the start. You didn't name this one, and I was like, "This was this was fucking incredible."
Yeah, it is awesome, but I don't know if I can get it. So it's
I
like
know, I
there's an
know.
element of like at least
There's an element of jealousy, is there?
not just an element of jealousy, but just like you can look again. I'm going to bring up Nintendo. You can look at the next Legend of Zelda game and think, yeah, that looks class, but you're not going to get it, are you?
You never
You're not
know.
really going to care that
Never
much.
know. I'm waiting for that Switch 2 at this point.
But yeah, no, I thought that was actually a really good idea. Going backwards
Yeah.
and giving you a fucking chainsaw Captain America shield.
Shield, fucking amazing. And as soon as the metal music kicked in, I was just head banging my way through it. I was like, fuck, yes. Doom the Dark Ages. Cannot wait. That looks amazing. Uh, they did they say that was coming next year? I think they said. I think that was what they had at the end.
Oh, I just was
Something
paying
like that.
attention to that Game Pass thing and throwing up my middle finger at
And be like, oh, I hate you.
it.
Is that out of curiosity? Is that a service that you would like on PlayStation? Like if if say PlayStation had a Game Pass type thing, right? I know
Hmm.
it does have the um, what's that even called?
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus. I know they have that, and they have the three-tiered system or whatever.
Hmm.
If they had that, every time they announce a new God of War or a new whatever, and it's automatically you're gonna have it with the subscription you have, would that be exciting, or would you be like, nah, I don't want that?
Um, I, I mean, like, let's be honest. If PlayStation introduced it, I will be a greedy shit, and I will subscribe to it to get all these games day one.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
But at the moment, I'm kind of already doing that. But what it does is because I don't have Right. This is actually a great example. Talking about Doom: The Dark Ages, because you've just asked me when is it coming out, because you don't really need to care because you have Game Pass, so you can just kind
Mm-hmm.
of go.
True, yeah.
You just turn it on someday. You might go, oh
It
look, there's
does
Doom.
it does take away the excitement of
So that's
pre-ordering something, and it also takes away any need to get a physical copy of something. And yeah,
yeah,
I agree
that
with that.
and then and I think having like if everyone decided to do a Game Pass system, you would never get like your Baldur's Gate 3 unboxings because
Yeah, yeah,
they're gone. So if PlayStation introduced it, yeah, I'd subscribe to it because I'll be a greedy shit. But at the moment, I like being excited for a
yeah,
game, pre-ordering a game, and then getting the email to say it's been dispatched and it's go boy, and then you
yeah, yeah.
get it and you're like, oh, that's so exciting.
There's the whole build up to it. I
Yeah.
think Game Pass is very consumer friendly, but not collector friendly.
That's funny. Also with recent times, I'm not 100% sure if it's very developer friendly.
Yeah, we're not sure of that either. That's true. And I'm not saying that necessarily I even love the concept of Game Pass as a whole in terms of what it does for the industry. But obviously, as an individual player, like it
As
is
a
great to be
consumer,
able to just jump into a game and
yeah.
try it. Like that
As you
part is
stated, as
cool.
a consumer, it's the fucking best thing ever.
Right? Yeah, yeah. So Doom: The Dark Ages. What was another game that stood out to you?
um, I mean, like Age of Mythology, fucking retold.
Age of Mythology Retold. I didn't know it was coming out this year. That one is coming out this year. I noticed that. I think it was
Mm.
September. I'll definitely be playing that. I loved Age of Mythology growing up. I do wonder, I couldn't tell from it, and obviously Retold implies it's a remake.
Mm.
Are we getting the campaign with Arcantos and everything? Like, that's what I want to see, you know?
That's what it seemed like with the one of the during the kind of montage trailer that it was. It looked like there was a point where the stone statue of Poseidon
Mm,
fighting against a Greek holding a spear, and he kind of had this golden aura around him. And I think
yeah,
that's Arcanthos.
yeah,
And I think, yeah, I think it's Age of Mythology, and it's the Age of Mythology Wrath of the Titans expansion put into one.
put together, yeah. I didn't immediately love the art style, I will say. Something about it seemed more colorful than maybe I remember Age of Mythology. But then it's been a long time since I played Age of
I
Mythology,
think
so maybe I
well,
have like a strange misremembering of it. But
the only time it lacked color, I think, was probably when you were in the underworld.
oh man, this is so sick. I like either way. I'm gonna jump into it because it was one of my favorite RTS games ever.
Ah, it's amazing, so good.
So good, so good. That's Age of Mythology Retold. I really didn't think that was coming as soon as it is. And I wasn't expecting to see it here. That's the other, like there was a few games where I was like I was expecting to see this, and I'm glad
Mm.
I'm seeing it. And but this one actually caught me off guard. That's why I did like I think I messaged you with little shocked face emojis because I was
All
just
right,
like,
okay.
oh my god, it's Age of Mythology. All right. What else we got, Eric? What else we got?
What else was there? There was that I can't remember the name of it, but it's that kind of Asian style game. Again, a lot of them. It's cool. I think it was a Souls Light game. You were
Oh yeah,
playing as some warrior. She hunts down monsters.
yes.
But the designs just seemed really cool. Can't remember the name of it, but I was like, that looks cool.
I didn't have that one noted. I did have the Snake Eater remake noted, which I imagine you did too.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I thought, obviously, it looks visually impressive.
Hmm.
There's still an element where I'm a little bit like, I hope you're doing more with this, but I don't think you are. I think this is just a very straight shot for shot, scene for scene, line for line remake.
Yeah, but it does.
But it
It
looks gorgeous.
looks gorgeous, and I'd say it's the gameplay
Mm-hmm.
that they've made more fluid and better, and so no, it is word for word. It is definitely the same. I mean, it was nice to hear David Hayter talk.
Yeah. I'm surprised the first line that we didn't hear wasn't kept you waiting, huh? Or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to have that, he's back type feeling or something like that.
Mm.
Although, did they just use the same recorded dialogue or do you think they re recorded it? Are you sure?
I'd say they no, I wouldn't say they re-recorded it to
Okay.
get all like because they get all those actors back, just for that.
I mean, just for that, you're starting to sound like Konami.
Well, getting all them
You
back
should
to
get them all back for that.
yeah, but just to re-record rather than
I know,
to
rather than to do new lines and add to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, add
I
to
know
it
what
and
you're saying.
everything like that. Like if you actually cared about it, you'd do that.
You'd go
Um,
further. Yeah.
but no, I think they just kind of enhanced the dialogue for it. But I think this was cool. I liked this trailer. I thought it was a cool trailer because sure, yes, it does seem like it's shot for shot and dialogue for dialogue, but it does graphically look better and it does look like gameplay wise is going to be more fun to play than even Snake Eater was.
Yeah. No, it looks incredible. Actually, I was
Mm.
very impressed by the visuals of it.
Mm.
Look forward to seeing more of it.
I didn't see any yoke about a pre-order of a hat though.
No, yeah, I was waiting for that. I did see the crocodile hat. He was wearing it.
Yeah. He was wearing it, yeah,
He
yeah.
was
So
wearing it.
maybe that's just in it.
But they also had no release window at all for this one. There was no year. There was no nothing.
No.
So I know that this was included in a sizzle reel at the start of the year for games coming to PlayStation in 2024, and obviously it's not coming out this year. They would at least know that by now. So obviously this is next year or beyond.
Maybe early 2025. Maybe they got a little bit like a few little setbacks on things maybe.
I'd say so. I'd say it was like a setback thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Guys, let us know if you're interested in this game, in this remake, and what you hope to see from it. I think it's very clear that it's a very like straight remake, not a
Hmm.
reimagining of any kind. Um, anything else stand out to you, Eric?
I think I mentioned Expedition 33. No, you know what? Let's just go through your list. You have 11 games. Let's just go through your list rather than you trying to be like, does Eric say anything that I have on my list,
No,
right?
I
Let's just
just because
let's just
I might not say what you have, right?
well,
So
but that's okay. Then we'll do an honorable mention. You have 11 games. I had like 3.
all
So
right. Well,
let's
the show opened with Black Ops 6, and I was very impressed with the showing of Black Ops 6, and I'm gonna play the campaign to Black Ops 6. I liked the spy thriller vibe of it. I like that they're going into the 90s with the Gulf War. I like that they're doing the whole we don't trust our own government type thing. I think
Mm,
that's kind of cool. I think it looks cinematic, and then listening to um the deep dive afterwards. I personally, I'm not like a Call of Duty guy, so I don't really care about the multiplayer, and I don't care about zombies mode at all. But good for Call of Duty fans. Um, but the campaign sounded cool to me and cinematic, and
mm,
the fact that they said that they have lots of different dynamic set pieces, and they're trying to keep them all different, makes it sound like it'd be one fun like playthrough.
mm.
Kind of reminded me of the Modern Warfare trilogy, more so Modern Warfare 2, when it's like it's less realistic and more like a big cinematic, crazy Michael Bay blockbuster type thing.
Mm.
Black Ops 6 grab you at all?
Um, I definitely I well hmm. Okay, so the first trailer that showed at the start was a cool trailer. Didn't like the choice of the song though.
Interesting.
Um,
I was like, Prodigy, yeah, it's the 90s.
yeah, I have a fire starter.
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, it's fine. Like the actual beat was good. It's just the minute the words came in, I was like, they're
I
not
get you.
exactly the best words, you know.
I get you. I get you.
And
Bit
then when it
literal, right?
comes,
It's a bit literal. We're going to war. We're starting a fire.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a bit, and then when you have your what do you call it? Your deep dive, your the developers direct. They were saying lots of cool things, nice things, super exciting, especially if you're a Call of Duty fan.
hmm
But I cannot really help be brought back to when they did this with Bethesda and Starfield. So
Right.
it's like, wow, you're saying all these many things. This looks awesome. And playing it, you're like, this is not actually like what you're saying though. So,
Right. I felt like, unlike Starfield, though, it sounded more doable. Like it was like you can slide and dive. I'm like, yeah, that sounds doable. Whereas like in Starfield, it was like there'll be thousands and thousands of worlds to visit, and all of them are unique and different to each other. And it's like that sounds impossible.
That sounds like the No Man's Sky
That sounds
treatment.
like that's not going to be the case at all.
I mean, like,
But I
I
know what you mean.
hope again. I hope this is awesome. Actually, when they were going through the Omni movement and the settings and the customization and the stuff like that, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, that definitely seems like a cool setting. Who are you fighting? They did they say who you were fighting again?
Corrupt Americans. And I'm sure you're probably also fighting people in the Gulf War. Like, I'm sure you're in the Middle
Oh
East.
well, there was a bit where you were going into Iraq, and then you get to go to Russia, so you have to fight the Russians. I thought they said the name of the organization that took over. Maybe they didn't.
I don't know if they did.
Graphically, pretty good. The
Yeah.
lighting actually looked class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you gonna play this day one when it comes out?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
coming Game Pass day one.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But obviously, Call of Duty is like that one is also going to be available on other consoles.
Yeah, for
Yeah, so
sure.
that's
And like
not
that's
tied to Xbox only or anything.
that is a game where if someone didn't have an Xbox at this point, you know, they might get it if, so to speak, to get this game, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like if they didn't have PS5 or Xbox and they're thinking, wow, I get Xbox and Game Pass, and then I get that day one.
Yeah, as well as all these other things.
As well as these other games, like because Call of Duty is such a big,
That's sort of
big
the deal.
franchise, such a
Massive. Yeah.
massive. Yeah.
The next one I had was I don't have these in any particular order at all actually. Fable. This is obviously another big Xbox franchise. I've never played the Fable games at all. I don't know what they're like.
Play this one?
This looked very, very impressive. Visually it looked very impressive, and even the little shots of gameplay that they showed looked impressive. At first, I thought this is just a CG trailer, so I'm not going to buy into it. I'm not interested. You know, we've seen a couple of these Fable trailers, and then they showed like in-engine stuff, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like that actually looks very impressive. So Fable definitely caught my eye, and I know nothing about the series really, except just that it's a fantasy series on Xbox. Have you ever played a Fable game?
I played Fable 2. I played and cleared Fable 2 in like a week.
Are they good? Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know, like, I mean, this is just called Fable, so I don't know if this is like its own separate thing. I don't know if any of the like Fable games are like linked, if that makes sense. I think like Fable 2 was definitely its own self-contained story.
Yeah.
I know it had a karma system. I think if you become more evil, you start looking more demonic. And if you're good, you look more better. I also know that somehow my guy by the end of the game was bald and fat, and I have no idea how.
Okay. Well, I just thought it looked incredibly impressive, and I'm surprised that they said it's coming next year. I thought Fable was still a far away. I didn't think we were this close to it actually.
Was the actor someone you recognized? Your man playing?
His voice was very familiar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I couldn't place his face at all, so I don't
No,
know who he is.
I was like, because I think the character's name was Humphrey, and I was like, is that someone? Because they had Richard Iwata for the last
That's true, yeah.
trailer, so I was thinking, is this someone I should be recognizing? And maybe not, but the voice was definitely seemed very familiar.
Very, very familiar.
And actually, I liked the script to this in that he was talking about his protege and how skilled she was, and then showing the gameplay of skill, and then it wasn't that character, and it was turns out the villain of Fable or one of the villains.
Yeah,
I thought that was a very good script as well for it.
Yeah, it just impressed me. It's definitely one I'd be looking to try out. Another one I had here was Perfect Dark. I thought this looked great. I know this is also another Xbox exclusive franchise that has been gone for a long time. So this is the reboot of Perfect Dark.
I didn't know it was a.
There was a trailer for this maybe years ago. So again, it was like, oh shit, I kind of remember this. I remember when they showed this. I think they showed it like back in 2020 or something. And there's been nothing on it since then. And to see not just a trailer, but to see gameplay as well. It just looked like a fun, futuristic, like spy thriller type thing. Like elements of James Bond in the future.
I just wish, because it has also like an element of a cyberpunk style thing, and I just wish it wasn't first person.
I know, yeah, yeah. Like, oh, well,
'Cause
the biggest one for that was Indiana Jones. Even as they were showing it, I was like, most of what you're showing is the third person cutscene. It's like, why is this in first person?
that's
I
what
still
they
don't understand it.
that's what Machine Gun works in. They work in first person
Machine
things, but I just
guns,
or Machine Gun whatever they're called.
machine games.
Machine Gun Kelly, Machine Games
Machine Gun
Kelly.
Kelly is making Indiana Jones and the
But
great.
yeah, no, I just kind of wish because yeah, it's like I find nowadays you either have sword slashing Souls like games
Hmm.
or you have first person shooters, and it's like where is my cover shooter? You know what I mean?
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there. But I kind of wish
I know what you're saying, though.
Perfect Dark was third person. But
Yeah,
I mean, I can't wait for you to tell me whether it's good or bad.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I hope it's good.
What did you think of the look of a game called South of Midnight, which had kind of a stop motion animation style?
Kind of remind me a little bit of like uh Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, remind me a bit of that.
I thought it looked really cool and really
I,
interesting, and
it
this was a brand
was
new IP
it was an Xbox Kena Bridge of Spirits.
kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And not. It stood out from the rest in that it wasn't a first-person shooter or a Soulsborne slasher or anything like that. It,
No.
it very much was its own thing, and I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Two other games that stood out to me in their vibes as games that I think I would enjoy playing. Mixtape
I
was
knew you were
one of
gonna say
them.
mixtape. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it
Same
looked
thing. It had that
great.
sort of like I think that also
Had a
had a bit of
similar
a Spider
animation, yeah.
Verse. Yeah, a similar animation. That looks like a nice heartwarming game.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, and while watching it, I was like, "Oh, this kind of reminds me of Life is Strange." And then,
Yeah, it's your next one.
and then they had Life is Strange, and I was like, "I love the Life is Strange games. They're great. They're short experiences. They're kind of, just sit back, relax kind of games. They're not very demanding, really, but they usually
Mm.
have great characters, great writing, and great stories. So Life is Strange double exposure, and it's coming out this year. I was like,
Mm.
whoa! I wasn't expecting that. That's great. What a surprise! Like, I was very surprised to see that at an Xbox showcase too. I
Mm.
think Life is Strange usually gets shown at like PlayStation, so
Okay.
I was quite surprised to see that here. This is not the place where I thought we would see it.
Mm.
And then, of course, we got another look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. A little bit
This time
more
we actually got
gameplay this
gameplay. Yeah.
time. Eric, what do you think?
Nice. Give me some of that. And I think what I was saying when we first talked about it is true. You play as both
Yes.
interchangeably.
Yeah, you were on the ball.
Of course I am. Uh,
Sounds like a fucking dick in this episode.
in this episode, Derek Eric has come out.
Derek. Derek is born.
I love the fact that when she took out the hidden blade, it was a tanto, which is like the Japanese knife, and I was like, that's cool. That's a nice little touch there. Gameplay looks pretty sick, and I mean, like the fact as well playing as the two characters and they play quite differently.
Yeah, totally different.
Nice.
There was one moment where, towards the end of the trailer, and I don't know if it's a trailer stylistic thing or if it's actually in game, and I want to know that. So hopefully at the Ubisoft Forward they will give more information. But they killed people and it went black and white.
Yes, I've seen that, and the blood still stayed red.
Yeah, and I was like, if that's stuff that happens in the game as you do like kills and stuff, that's sick. But if that's just a trailer thing, then it's like, oh, okay, cool trailer, but
Are you
not
wanting
really.
like a Ghost Tsushima Fury mode or something like that, where it goes
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
that
I
blood
want
and
it to
stuff?
be that Assassin's Creed is trying to make Ghost of Tsushima, and and I'll enjoy that. I don't think it'd be as good as say Ghost of Tsushima 2, but I'd still really enjoy it. And I wasn't expecting to see it here because there's a Ubisoft Forward that
Hmm.
it's obviously going to be at. So
Yes, but I'd
so this
imagine
was like a surprise.
we'd have probably more of a deep dive type thing, like showing an actual mission with
Yeah,
where it's shown the gameplay. But I think yeah, that looks pretty cool. And it's like yeah, again, it's like finally we're in Japan. We've been asking for this since Assassin's Creed 2.
yeah, 100%. Obviously, there was loads more games. I didn't note all of them. Not all of them would be of interest to me. They're gonna stand out to different people for different
Mm.
reasons. So do let us know, guys, your own personal favorite games and stuff. And I am saving the best for last. But before we get to that, I'm curious. I didn't take note of this, but because I'm not really into this series, but did Dragon Age catch your eye at all, Eric? As someone who really enjoyed Dragon Age Inquisition, it looked a bit strange to me.
It looked very strange to me.
Yeah.
I was looking at this going, this is Dragon Age, but also is this a side project or is this actually the fourth Dragon Age? Because I mean, the initial teaser trailers for Dragon Age 4 was saying that it was called Dreadwolf and looked
Ah.
more interesting, and then we have Dragon Age now Veilguard, and I'm like, and the fact as well that they said together, work together or something. I was like, is this a multiplayer game?
Yeah,
What's
it
going
nearly
on here?
seemed like it was
It
in its
almost
vibe and all.
it almost reminded me as a hero shooter, but
A little bit, yeah.
it's weird.
I do have some clarification on that.
Okay.
Dreadwolf, this is the same game. Its name has been changed. It changed during development. So this is the next big Dragon Age. It's not secondary to Dreadwolf.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Like Veilguard is a pretty cool subtitle.
Yeah. But
Dreadwolf is
Dreadwolf is an
an awesome.
amazing title. Yeah. Yeah, because
um,
I actually I knew this game was going to be at it.
right.
This had leaked beforehand.
Oh, okay.
And someone did say that it was once Dreadwolf, but it got changed during development.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see more to this. I thought this was a trailer again with like a weird song put
Yeah,
over it. So kind of need to see more because also as well the kind of characters you seem to be recruiting are kind of like meh to me.
yeah.
But I just need to see more, I suppose, with it.
Well, what I really wanted to see from the Xbox showcase, but I was just genuinely hoping for. I was like, if they show nothing else and just this, I'll be happy, really, because
State of Decay 3.
absolutely.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Stalker 2, which did look good actually. Props to the team making that. But no, the game I really, really wanted to see was Gears 6. I didn't get Gears 6.
No, you didn't. We didn't
Actually.
get that. Or IP.
No, I think they know that people were expecting that, and then like the trailer started, and it was like, first of all, Red came on the screen, and I was immediately like, it's Gears. They said one more thing. They've already shown fucking Fable and fucking Perfect Dark and all these other games. Indiana Jones and Avowed that are coming this year. It's like, what else could they finish on that's worth being the last one out of all of these games? Like in terms of Xbox's lineup, like it has to be. It's either Gears or a Halo we didn't know about. Like they started the show with Doom, so it has to be. It has to be either Gears or Halo, and I don't think it's Halo. It's got to be Gears, and I thought it was Gears 6. And then the trailer was obviously it's just a CG trailer. It's more of just an announcement, nothing more than that. But as it was playing out, I was like, that looks like Dom. No, it looks like Marcus. It looks like Marcus. But I was like, but he looks younger. What the hell? Is this a flashback? Maybe. And then they played a bit of Mad World in there, and then you had Dom at the end, and then it came up just Gears of War first. I was like, holy shit, is it a remake? I wasn't expecting that. And then it said E-Day. I was like, oh, fuck. They did a prequel.
Yeah.
They're going back to the origins of the Gears of War series. Eric, what do you think?
It's like the minute I saw that, I was like, right, can't wait to play this with Chris. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thought the same thing. I was like, this must be flashback or something. You know, maybe it's going to like, that's Marcus fighting a locust, and then we're going to see, you know, like it's going to flash up to present day or something like that. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then it kept going, and I was like, okay, all right, what's going on here? And then the Mad World kicked in, and Dom was there, and I was like, oh fuck, this is for some prequel shit. And then seeing the city and seeing the corpser climbing onto the skyscraper, I was like, fuck off, it's E-Day. And then it fucking said it. Oh, fucking, yeah, mate.
Well,
Give us some Gears.
the most interesting about that is like the house that Marcus was in, had things that said "Welcome home" and stuff like that, right? So this is like society is around, and then E-Day happens,
Yes.
which we might actually get to see like this could be darker than the rest of them because it's before they're actually like before they even know what they're dealing with.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we might see civilians fucking dying and shit. Like there's always been the Gear series is obviously an action series primarily, but they've always had little hints at like horror, right? It's not a
Oh,
horror series at all, but they've had hints at horror with like the
hmm.
monsters and experimentation and stuff like that. I think this might lean into that a little bit more. I'm not saying it's going to be a horror game, but it might lean into horror a little bit more, given the kind of naming and the thematics of it. The Gears series is my favorite Xbox franchise. I personally prefer it over Halo, as much as I understand the importance of Halo for not just Xbox but gaming as an industry. But like I just have such fond memories of like I prefer the characters in Gears, and I just have such fond memories of playing through like the campaign, specifically of Gears 2.
Hmm.
But also like me and you played through Gears 5. It was fucking so much fun to play through together.
It's such an epic game.
And ever since it ended, I was like, I can't wait for Gear 6. Can't wait for Gear 6. And then this is like, I assume we still will get a Gear 6
Hmm.
down the line because they did leave it on a cliffhanger. But this is just as exciting, actually, is to go back to how it all started.
Yeah, because you're gonna be. We have to take into account as well that like Marcus ends up in prison. At the start of Gears of War 1,
Mm,
Dom breaks Marcus. Wait, he doesn't break Marcus out of prison. He's given permission to release Marcus out of prison because the
right.
army are running out that they have to get. Which means at some point Marcus has to do something that he has to be court-martialed. But also, there's the moments when do you remember the Hammer of Dawn? Those
Yes, of course I
satellites
remember
that
that. Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
shoot the fucking sun. At some point, you're going to have to do that. Are you going to be like forced to have to like Hammer of Dawn, a freaking hospital that still has people in it, but there's also like a locust base in there or something like that?
Right. Like maybe you'll have to make really tough and hard decisions throughout the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like you were saying, like because Gears does deal with horror as well as like the horrors of war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even at the end of Gears
Such a
2,
fucking cool franchise.
at the end of Gears 2, they had to sacrifice their last like place of civilization just
Mm,
to stop the locusts. And so this could start delving into that more.
yeah.
How far they'd have to go to stop the locust threat.
I wonder will this game end where Gears of War begins? Like will they recreate just the opening to Gears of War 1 at the very end of this game just to be like to like launch you into it's like oh fuck I'm gonna play them all over again. Like will
That'd
it
be cool.
it would be a really cool seamless like yeah let me see. And like I take it they'll get like the cast back for this. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, they'll definitely have your man back for Marcus. It'd be good to play with Dom again. We
Yeah.
won't actually have Baird or Cole in this game.
Oh, did those voice actors pass away or something? Or oh no, those characters haven't come into it yet.
Those characters, the first time they ever meet those characters is in Gears of War 1.
You're right. You're right. Is there a Carmine? Can there be a Carmine during E Day or?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
we will get Hoffman
I
because
think
you
yeah. You're right.
serve under Hoffman at first, so you definitely get him.
I think they'll want to bring it back to basics as well. Anyway, and just make it very much a Marcus Dom story. Like
Mm.
it's really focused on the two of them, brothers in
So good.
arms, going into war together, fighting for their families, chainsawing locusts, listening to heavy metal. This is gonna be the best time ever.
I wonder if we'll get more time with Dom's family actually.
Maybe like you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Maybe. And because you know where the trajectory goes if you've played the series, some of those moments might hit even harder.
Yeah.
This was such a
This
cool
was for me
announcement.
also very like probably the most exciting thing.
Yeah, oh, 100%. 100%.
I don't have an Xbox, but this was the one where it's like, fucking yeah, boy.
Well, that's what you've heard from us, guys. Gears of War E-Day was our hypest moment of what I think was the best showcase Xbox has had ever since they announced the Series X.
Hmm.
Other people might feel differently, and we want to hear from you. And I'm thinking about like the time they showcased it the first time was also when they first showcased Hellblade 2. And like back then it was like, oh, this shit's so exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah. People were waiting that long on Hellblade 2. So like that was the one that was like, fuck, we gotta buy an Xbox, you know? And then things went really quiet for a few years as far as I'm concerned. And I just feel like this showcase was not only great announcements, but great announcements that most of them actually have a release window within the next 2
Hmm.
years. So it isn't just this is a game that will come eventually, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
But we want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of the showcase? What was your hypest game? What did you think of all the other games that we mentioned? And what about the ones that we didn't mention? Was there one there that you really want to talk about? If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you jump down into the comments to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this bonus discussion, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future content, including future bonus segments that happen randomly, or our weekly episodes that we put out every single week on YouTube and audio platforms. Speaking of audio platforms, if you've been listening to us there, then you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on the Xbox Showcase. That's going to conclude it for this segment, but we'll be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Get it day one on Game Pass.